Hey guys, welcome! Today we are going to be bringing you a very easy Danish recipe. It's a delicious mixture of berries and cherries rolled in a gorgeous gluten-free pastry that we're going to plait, and it'll be enough to serve the whole family. And not only that, the pastry is so versatile you can use it on a range of different dishes. So hang around, we'll make it together. So this very easy Danish is a gorgeous one with berries and cherries, and the berries we're using today are frozen berries. This eliminates the need to get them in season and means you can make this gorgeous recipe any time of the year. Well, what we want to do to start with, and you will need to do this a few hours ahead, so either 3 or 4 hours ahead or the day before. So what we're going to do is make a chia jam out of the berries, and I've got, again, recipe below the video. I've got my frozen berries and we're going to throw them in the microwave and get them really soft and mushy. That's what we want. We want the liquid to come out of it, and I'll show you why in a sec. Okie dokie, that has been in for just under 3 minutes. Obviously everybody's microwave is going to be different. I haven't totally mushed them, but if we give them a good stir, you can see that the juices have definitely released. And if you've got any big chunky berries, just cut them a little bit smaller. Awesome. To make the jam, you need some chia seeds. I'm going to put in 1/4 cup. Now, you don't have to put sweetener in, but I've got some erythritol. I like erythritol, which is a sugar that has 0 carbs. And the reason why I like this over stevia is that erythritol does not have an aftertaste. It does have a cooling effect though on your tongue, but that's only if you don't mix it with water first. So I'm putting 2 tablespoons in. And because our berries are water-based, when we stir it through, you're not going to get that cooling effect like you do if you were to mix it in with a fat of some description, like a cookie. Give that a very good stir. It's pretty amazing that you can just throw these ingredients together, chuck it in the fridge, and you have jam. It's fabulous. Let me put that in the fridge. And here's one we prepared earlier. Look at that. That's amazing, isn't it? All the seeds, the chia seeds, the outside of the seeds have got this sort of mucilaginous forming properties, which just kind of means they go thick and slimy. But it sort of acts to replace the pectin in most jams and creates this really luscious texture. Fab. And good for your gut. Right, let's make our pastry now. Once you've made your pastry, it is best chilled in the fridge for a little bit. I like to chill it for about 15-30 minutes. I don't usually like to go much more than 30 minutes because then it's so hard that it's very difficult to roll. So we want to make our mix, roll it up and put it in the fridge. So let's get started. We've got our almond meal. So this is an almond meal and coconut flour pastry. And as I said, it is so versatile and it has a great chewy texture like a lot of pastries with gluten do. Sans the gluten. All right, I've got my trusty food processor, got my almond meal. Don't forget all the ingredients are below the video, and we've also got them on our website. So let's throw in the almond flour. We also have our coconut flour, which is really good at absorbing the moisture and giving it a little bit more body. We're going to put all our dry ingredients in first, and then we'll mix it, and then we'll throw in our wet. So I have some xanthan gum, which kind of replicates the gluten. And then we have some baking powder, not baking soda. We want it to be baking powder. A little pinch of sea salt, whether it's Celtic sea salt or pink Himalayan sea salt. Not too much, just a pinch. And that's it for our dry ingredients. Let's give that a quick mix. That's it. The main thing is what you don't want is a pocket of baking powder sitting in one place that's unmixed, and then it makes the pastry go all weird as. Next we want to put our eggs in. I've got 2 small eggs. These are free range, but organic are even better. And these are being very lightly whisked to begin with, just to help it mix well. I have some lemon juice here. It provides the acidity in our dough, and I'm just going to put in 3 teaspoons of lemon juice. Awesome. Now, finally, you're going to need a little bit of water, and you're going to have to judge how much water you need. I would say anywhere between 1 to 3 teaspoons. Let's start with 1. Mix it and see how it feels. Now the dough's going to come together. It will be a little bit sticky, but it'll be firm. All right, let's have a feel. It's quite sticky. So I'm not going to add any more water to that. As you can see how sticky it is. That will do. Awesome. Let's throw it in some wrap, Glad wrap, saran wrap, whatever you've got. This is my small wrap. And I'm going to double it because we want to knead it once we've put it in. And we don't want the wrap to break. And the pastry smoosh everywhere. See? Alrighty. Okay. So when we mush it together, it should form a dough. Great. So wrapping that up all nice and tight, and what you're going to end up with is a little ball of dough, and this is where we need it. Now think of this as a stress ball now, and you want to spend a minute or two really squishing it all together. Because it's so sticky, if you try to do this without the wrap, you'd get it all over your hands and you'd lose half of it. Alrighty. Just keep doing that for a couple of minutes. Okay, so that's been a couple of minutes. Let's throw that in the fridge. Great. So our dough has been sitting now in the fridge for half an hour. Just great. Perfect. And now we want to roll it. I've got some baking paper, and with the gluten-free pastries, the easiest way to roll the dough at any time is to put them between 2 pieces of baking paper or parchment paper and roll it. Rolling dough really is an art, I must say. I have been doing it for a number of years, so there is a trick to it. Lots of practice. Roll it slowly and gently. And don't try and spread too much at the one time. This is a much tougher pastry, which is what gives it its elasticity and its form as you're eating it, but it is not as soft as some other almond pastries, which roll really easy. This one takes a little bit of elbow grease, but just take your time with it. I've been rolling it with the baking paper on either side, but this particular one, I don't know whether it's the almond meal's a little bit drier than usual, but I have noticed that the pastry's a little drier than usual, so I've taken the top wrap off because I can roll it without. It's a little bit easier without. Because my pastry is rolling a little unevenly, I'm just going to cut some of those corners, the edges off, and put them into the corners that don't have enough to even it out. Fantastic. Awesome. So now we're going to shape this in a way, we're going to cut it so that as we roll it, it can get that kind of plaited effect. And how we do that, if you just use the, not the sharp edge, but just the unsharp side to just mark out the center of where the fruit's going to go, and the edges here, I want you to just cut through in little strips. You can see that it's sort of going, they're not straight, and you'll see why when we roll it, when we shape it. And that last little bit, just cut off there. Squish it in with the rest. I do love this pastry because it's very forgiving. Let's do the same on the other side. Might turn my board. Make sure the strips are evenly spaced. It'll make it easier when you put it together. Awesome. You'll see why we want this little extra bit at the top in a moment. Okay, let's put the filling in. First layer is going to be our chia jam that we made. Yum. And you don't want to be too stingy with this. And don't take it any further than those last strips, because we want to be able to fold the pastry over. I have the tiniest bit left over. And then we want to put our cherries on top. Now, I have some frozen cherries, which I have, let me move this out of the way, defrosted overnight, so it will have lots of cherry juice at the bottom. That's pretty normal. Just give it a bit of a shake. And let's put those on top. Yum. The thing about the Danish is if you make your toppings too dry, it won't be so nice to eat. The fruit moisture is what makes it really kind of luscious and jammy. Great. I think that's about right. Let's get rid of that. Now, before you start to do this next bit, wash your hands and make sure they're dry, because it will tear the pastry as you're going. Very gently squish them together. And if you know anything about Danishes, you know that they're quite free-formed. They're not meant to look super neat. It's meant to have, you know, fruit and filling oozing out. So we're just pinching the pastry together. It's great. Put that last one in. I like to do that last one before the end, so it actually has something to pinch onto. Yeah. This is going to ooze out. Fantastic. I don't mind that at all. Get your baking tray and very gently slide it underneath. Whoop. And if that happens, you just do it again. You know, when you cook, it's very rare that things go perfectly, so you need to be prepared to fix things. I have the oven preheated to 180 degrees Celsius. Let's throw that in. It'll take roughly about 30 minutes. Smells delish. All right, let's cut these into bite-sized pieces. And I really like these kind of rocking knives because you can get a little bit of rolling action and you don't have to slice as much. It's kind of like a pizza knife in a way. I'm going to cut 5 pieces out of this. It's very berry. Gorgeous. Oh, that's just fantastic. Let's put some sour cream on there. Yeah, that's there. A few little cherries. Some fresh berries. And that is ready to serve. How good does that look? Very easy, simple Danish. Let's have a taste. That is so good. With a little bit of cream. Yummo. And there you have it, a really simple Danish pastry. Gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, delicious, berries, cherries, coconut sour cream. What else is there to say? Everyone will love it if you serve it to them. I know we do in this house, and it's been a pleasure sharing it with you. If you've enjoyed this recipe, hit that like. Would love to hear from you in the comments, and subscribe. Hit the bell. You'll never miss these videos again. See ya. Beautiful berry cherry. Hey everyone, today I'm bringing you a very easy Danish pastry. Very easy recipe. free-range eggs, but I'm not. Do not put that in there. Very happy, let me tell you. So, yeah. Hey Elijah.